Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Welcome back to a live version of Tactical Insight. Obviously, we've got Christmas coming up. Everyone's very busy. Everyone's got a lot going on. And we just thought, good performance from Arsenal. And I felt it might be. I was confident. I wouldn't have said to do it live if I thought we were going to rock up and lose 5-0. Arsenal gave us, I think, a performance we'll be proud of. And we'll talk about it today. But crucially on Tactical Insights, normally me and Graham, we're sat and we're just giving our thoughts on everything. I really want you guys to make a part of the show here. I really want you guys to... we read the comments every show, and there's sometimes hundreds of them, like great comments coming in and giving us brilliant insight, things we hadn't thought about. And I'd really love your help on some of this, especially because it's been a tight turnaround. And there's actually things from this game that, when I look at it, I'm not really sure what Arsenal always did in the press. I'm not always sure what Arsenal did in and out of possession, but there's certainly some numbers we picked up, there's certainly some players we can talk about, there's certainly some goals we can analyse, and we're going to do that in this with all your help in the comment section. I've got it all here. Send in your thoughts, send in your comments, and we will break down the game. Arsenal drew 1-1 at Anfield, and just to be clear, going into the game, I thought to myself, look, we could play really well here. I'm confident we'll go to Anfield and give them the game. I'm really confident we'll have spells. I'm confident they'll have spells and we'll go blow for blow at times. I never thought that we were going to run away with it and get a win. I was sort of happy with the point, and not happy in the sense that I didn't think we could win, not happy to a point where I wouldn't have played the 90 and just taken the point beforehand. But I certainly was happy in the sense that go out there, put in a performance you're proud of. If you come out with a draw at Anfield, especially with what they've been doing this season, Liverpool, you can just take a lot of credit for it. Now, remember, Liverpool... that's 2 draws at home in a row in the league in the title race. That will be disappointing for them in terms of their output for the last week. Arsenal, I think, will take a lot of pride out of what they did against Brighton last weekend, but they're following up with a really good performance at Anfield, which had mistakes in it for sure, but ultimately was a performance, like I said, we can be proud of. Let's talk about it. Oh, I can see myself on screen there. Let's remove that. Where is Graham? He's not here at the moment. Obviously, we're recording this after the game. But Graham, always sends some fantastic thoughts and insight. Go check out, every Tactical Insight we do. Always great having him here. And I'm sure he'll wish he could have been on this show. But needs must. The football schedule at Christmas is mental. And we thought we'd rather get something out to you guys. But Graham will be back for the next one. I like this from Ollie Hughes. Do you think Liverpool tampered with the pitch with a number of slips? Slip/long balls, etc. I think they watered the pitch a lot. I don't know if they tampered with it, but listen, that would have been clever. I think Klopp tried everything going into this game. I think he tried the, calling on the Anfield crowd. I think they were, I don't know. Liverpool were aggressive, but in a good way. I felt they took the game to us physically in a really good way. I thought we'd have a little bit more joy physically in midfield, but actually, I think they maybe were slightly better than us in that sense. Did they tamper with the pitch? I don't know. If they did, clever, because we were slipping and losing balance. And actually, they didn't seem to have those problems as much. So if they did, very clever from them. Do you think Ødegaard's left foot bias is extreme? I think it hurts us when time to punish, says Cesar. He's clearly not as comfortable with his right as he is with his left, quite clearly. Granit Xhaka last year, and actually probably years before that, he was clearly a left-footed player, preferred doing his best work on his left, but you could tell that he could use his right if he needed to. I don't think we see that from Ødegaard as much, to be fair. Let's go into the match stats from the game. Wish we could be bringing graphics on screen, but I'll try and talk as clearly as possible. Of course, a 1-1 draw was how it ended in terms of goals, but we had 13 shots to their 13. Very, very little in it. Well, nothing in it, 13 shots each. They had 3 shots on target to our 2. They had 51% of the ball to our 49%, and the XG, very little in it as well, 0.98 to 0.9. Arsenal went blow for blow here with Liverpool, and that doesn't mean that we had loads and loads of chances and they had loads and loads of chances. I actually think the defenders, especially the centre-backs, will come out as the players with the most praise. And Konate, Van Dijk, Saliba, Gabriel were the standout players on that pitch. Declan Rice was brilliant. I thought White more than held his own. Salah, of course, was a problem. Trent Alexander-Arnold did some great things. But it's the centre-backs. They were the star of the show. They were absolutely the headline act in this game. And, considering both teams had 13 shots and both teams will feel like they really left it all out there on the pitch, I think it'll be the centre-backs that you look at and go, they're the reason why neither team lost, because they stood up and they gave both their sides a real platform to try and go play good attacking football. it was just a masterclass from all four of them, and fair play to them. Jamie Carragher spoken about it, saw Tapping Toes tweet about it. A lot of recognition of how great the centre-backs were. Now, in terms of the way the game went, breaking down the momentum of it all, I thought it was a really strange game because I think if you look at the first 20 minutes, Arsenal made a good start. It was somewhat reminiscent of, Arsenal's start last season, where they made a really good start. They kind of quietened the Anfield crowd. They got the early goal they got the early goal last time, but they got the goal within 3 minutes here through Gabriel from a set piece, from a header. A really good cross from Odegaard. Gabriel does really well to rise and really kind of plant that into the near post. Alisson caught a little bit in no man's land. They're playing the offside trap, but Gabriel does just enough to stay on. But I think the key thing is breaking down the game in terms of segments, because I think a lot of people's feeling is that, well, actually, Liverpool were probably the better team for most of the game. And I'm not really sure that's true. Let's have a little look at the breakdown of the game, the way I've done it here. And again, I wish I could be bringing you up the graphics, but just follow me here. So this is the first 20 minutes alone. Liverpool had one shot, Arsenal had four. That's in the first 20 minutes. And I think by minute 25, Arsenal had another two maybe, so that was maybe six. So that's the first 20 minutes. Arsenal have had 4 shots to Liverpool's 1. But Arsenal had less of the ball, 46 passes to Liverpool's 72. So they had more of the ball, we were more efficient with it. Then you take a big jump from minute 21 to minute 60, where Liverpool had 7 shots to Arsenal's 3. So Arsenal managed only 3 shots, 1 less than what Arsenal managed in the first 20. And we're talking a 40-minute spell of football there, almost a whole half, where Arsenal didn't ask that many questions of Liverpool. Liverpool had 7 shots, but at this point we're on the front foot, and we're actually, I think they were winning that midfield battle. They were causing us problems. Odegaard might and probably should have given away a penalty. Probably was a penalty, but he did slip, to be fair. And there were other moments where, Salah with his shot that goes into the side netting. Zini doesn't do too well on the header on that. They actually equalised in that spell as well, Liverpool. I think Arsenal were kind of doing well to stick in there, but it was a lot of last-ditch stuff. There's a lot of every man for himself. Declan Rice was popping up at left back, at right back. At times he was playing a sweeper role. He was just everywhere to try and cover the spaces where needed. And Liverpool took control of that moment, and you could see it in the passes as well. From minute 21 to 60, they completed 186 passes to Arsenal's 154. But that minute 21 to 60, of course, includes the first 15 minutes of the second half. I felt, having not done a great job ending the first half, we stuck in there, but we weren't great. Liverpool then came out like a house on fire in the second half. I think they came out in the second half the way we started the first half. Just in our faces, football being played in our half. I don't think we looked particularly comfortable. We were trying to do things. We were trying to play our football, but Zinchenko gave on the way. He tried to turn from Salah, loses it. Martinelli tried to turn, pirouette, loses it. Turkish wasn't happy with that, and we had a good discussion about it on the watch-along. And generally, we just looked a little messy. Gabriel and Saliba were making clearances, defending the penalty area well. But we came through that. And once we came through that up to the 60th minute, Arsenal started to get control of this game. Now, when I say control, don't mistake that for Arsenal were dominating. Don't mistake that for Arsenal were the better team. I think they were, but what I mean is, it wasn't like suddenly that last 30 minutes Liverpool hanging on lucky to not lose it. But Arsenal just took the sting out of it, and they needed that because they'd done a good 40 minutes of football, all with the 15-minute break in between. They'd done quite a lot of just holding Liverpool off, just like defending every man for himself kind of stuff. But then they start to play. And you can see it in the stats here. In the last 30 minutes, they had 5 shots, Liverpool, to Arsenal's 4. So, okay, they outshot us by 1. But they completed 83 passes to Arsenal's 125. Arsenal completed 125 passes in the last 30 minutes. And if I just pull up this tweet, let me find it. Yeah, I tweeted this. Arsenal completed 125 passes in the last 30 minutes of the game. They completed 200 in the first hour. So a much better pass per minute ratio, if that's what you want to call it. Arsenal suddenly got control of the ball where they didn't really have it in that first 60. And I want to give credit to Arsenal for that. Getting on the ball, playing, taking the sting out of Liverpool, albeit that's probably where Liverpool's best chance of the game actually came. It was, that Trent, making a mistake from the corner, they counter, Salah gives it to Trent and he hits the crossbar. That was probably their best moment of the game in terms of clear-cut chance. But otherwise, for the rest of the time, Arsenal were fairly comfortable on the ball, playing, trying to probe Liverpool and actually creating some openings themselves. And the reason that's important is because last year where we went 2-0 up and then they pulled one back, it was onslaught after onslaught, attack after attack after attack. Arsenal couldn't deal with what Liverpool were throwing at them. We drew 2-2 and again we were 2-0 up, and we were lucky. I think we felt lucky we didn't lose it 4-2, but then we felt we could have won it. It was a bit of a mess. We came out just like, what was that game? It was carnage. In this game, I actually felt Arsenal did well not to succumb to the Liverpool pressure, shooting at the Kop, really on the back foot. You can really get sucked towards your goal and sort of do last-ditch defending stuff. But in the 60th minute, Arsenal decided to play, take the sting out of the game, and actually get Liverpool reversing back towards their goal, retreating is the word I'm looking for, and going, okay, like they're playing now, and if we're not careful, they're going to play through us. And I want to give credit to Arsenal for that. Before I go to the tactical pad, let me see some of your comments. Let's see what you're all saying. We've got super chat from Black Caesar says, live tactical insight. This must be Christmas truly. In all seriousness, I've never been more conflicted in a result. Just annoys City are still so close despite their recent form. Look, sure, but we're top at Christmas. We've been to Villa Park. We've been to St James's Park. We've been to Anfield. Whatever City do in their game in hand, they can't go above us. Like, we've got to take the positives from that. We really, really do. Zinchenko's at the heart of everything wrong today, says Omer. Has cost us many goals this season. I agree, he's cost us a few goals, but I think that's very harsh to say he was at the heart of everything wrong. He did some good stuff. He did some bad stuff. The bad stuff cost us. We know that. Arteta was playing Tomiyasu into form, guys. He signed Timber for 35 million. I don't think he planned for Zinni to play this game, but he did, and he had to. Like, it's disappointing you can get mad at Zinni, but we've tried to prep for a game without Zinni. I think he even tried to get Kivior, showing some rhythm by playing him against Luton, and Kivior didn't really look at it. So I think Arteta was fairly reluctant to use Zinni, but if you're going to use him, at least get him doing the stuff he does best. And in fairness, he did some nice stuff on the ball, gave the ball away at times. Frustrating, I agree, but you know what you're getting. And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm saying I'm not that surprised. Like, Salah does you on a one-on-one and scores. Yeah, that's poor. We're actually going to talk about that in a sec, because I actually don't think he did very well on it, Zinni. But am I surprised he got done in a one-on-one with Salah? No. I actually thought that we'd go a little bit more man for man and Gabriel would take the job against Salah a little bit more frequently, but we didn't have that. What else have we got? Too many errors from Zinchenko, says PJ. Don't blame Zinni, people, says Omar. He was forced to play in that defensive role when he is actually an offensive player. It's not his fault. He lacks a bit of defensive prowess. Fair point. Steve says, when you hear someone say it probably was a penalty, and he's put laughing emojis, I'd love to, if we can get a poll, who thought that was a penalty or not? I think it probably was. I think it probably was a penalty, even though he slipped. Like, his arm is really quite low, but I don't know. PJ says no one knows the handball rule now. I agree. Rice is world classes. Omar, totally agree with that. Waleed says, I feel for Zinni, how many midfielders can play left back as well as he can? I hear it. Here we go. Got the poll going. I think it probably was a penalty. We'll catch up with your thoughts in a sec. There was a comment here. Love the show, James says. Madhu, much love from Papua New Guinea. Come on, you Gunners, Merry Christmas. A big thanks to all of you. All right, let's go to the tactical pad. That's the fun bit. That's where we can actually do a little bit of animated analysis. Let's bring it up on the screen. So, Arsenal in a 4-3-3, Liverpool in a 4-3-3, and they opted for Gakpo here over Darwin Nunez. Nunez, I thought, did okay when he came on, to be fair, but Gakpo led the line. Now, this is what I'm going to need all your help, people. So I'm looking to the comments as I say this. What the hell was our defensive system? And this is why I'm going to say that. Because at times, if we get Liverpool into somewhat of an attacking shape, get Gakpo in there, Jones, Szoboszlai, getting into pockets, wide forwards, Endo was sort of coming here, but Trent was getting on the ball there, with Van Dijk and Tsimikas splitting. He was literally playing as a quarterback at times. Now, I didn't know whether Arsenal were sort of sitting off them, and I'll show you how that looked in a minute. Sort of almost a little bit like this, kind of, Rice keeping on Gakpo at times, Saliba, Gabriel sort of waiting for the pockets into Jones as a Szoboszlai, Zinni and White doing the jobs on the wingers. But at times, when the ball was a little bit higher up the pitch, I actually did see Jesus press on, and then Erdogan and Havertz pick up the two central midfielders, and then sort of Zinni coming inside a little bit with Gabriel one-on-one with Salah at times. So I wasn't really sure what our defensive shape was. And then, when they got in and around our penalty area, and you're going to have to sort of bear with me a second, sort of crossed Let's get everyone here. When they sort of crossed into our half, let's move them up the pitch. I actually felt at times Rice was acting a little bit of a sweeper. We were almost so man-marking that at times Rice was almost following Gakpo if he went wide, I think, but Salah would be there too. Sometimes he would, follow Rice out there and Zinni would be inside. Sometimes he was just behind the back four to sweep up. Sometimes long balls were going in behind and he was the one hitting the channels to win there. I love your thoughts. Send in some comments. I'd love to know what you all think. I felt Rice was just cleaning up in so many different areas. I couldn't quite tell whether he was marking a certain man, whether he had a free roll to basically understand where he had to be. There were a few things that sort of confused me about the way we were trying to defend. I'm not saying it was good. I felt it was a little bit every man for himself, if that makes sense. So I'll get to your comments in a sec on that. Let's talk about the Liverpool goal though, because we got Salah goal. Look, Zinni is in for some criticism here, and I get it. But my word, is this sublime by Trent, and it's also really pretty good by Salah. So we got the ball here, and like I said, Trent's coming between the centre backs to get the ball. Right back and centre back have flipped. Konate is the widest of the defenders, and Trent has basically got the ball so they can try and spray passes. Now, as he's got the ball, Jesus is sort of sitting off for a sec, but he's waiting for the trigger. He's waiting for something that suggests that Trent is going to play that long ball, and he gets it. Havertz and Odegaard are sort of marking space, and like I said, this is what I mean when I say I was a little bit confused by Arsenal's shape. Because if you look here, we'll do it in blue, they're sort of blocking out that four. They're blocking out that sort of midfield with Rice a little bit deeper, but here he's got Szoboszlai. So I was a little confused at times of what Arsenal were trying to do off the ball. But it worked to a degree because I actually felt we nullified Liverpool in terms of them creating loads and loads of big chances. But when Trent plays this pass, Salah's really wide and Zinni actually isn't picking up a bad position. He goes to try and win the header from the long ball, but Trent executes it brilliantly. I can't be mad at Zinchenko for that. So, actually, let's take that back. You'll see here, Trent sets it up onto his right. Jesus went to press, but at this point the long ball's been played. We pause everyone else and we watch the rest of the team. Now, where I think Zinni's got this wrong, if we just move it up to where Salah gets the ball, at this point, he's squared him up. Now, I think Zinni should be placing himself a little bit more in this area so that he forces Salah this way. Because if he does, I think it's a little bit harder for him to get the cut back to a Gakpo or a Diaz. White actually follows Diaz in this situation. Saliba's got an eye on Gakpo. And yeah, they might get it right. If they do, that's brilliant. But I felt that I feel we're in a good position to deal with that if it comes across goal. Maybe Raya claims it. Now, earlier in the game, Ben White was one-on-one with, who was it, Diaz. And look, Diaz got the beating of him, but he did force him down the wing. Forcing him down the wing, Saliba was there to deal with it, clear it, and Arsenal sort of you're putting into a congested area. It's hard to know what to do in that situation. But he doesn't, Zinchenko. If we take it back to the tactical pad, he goes exactly where you would expect him to go. Salah, which is basically into that area so he can cut on to his favoured foot. And we'll break it down here. Squares him up, comes into the penalty area. White's followed Diaz, as you can see. Saliba's got an eye on Gakpo. He cuts inside, and then at that point, it's just a really great finish. And some eyes are on Raya. I can't blame Raya. It's a rocket. It's an absolute rocket of a shot. He's got the very inside of the post. I can't be mad at him. It's just a great goal. But Zinni should do better. You don't show Salah onto his right foot. It's not just that Salah, if Salah bamboozles you and just beats you to it, what can you do? You're talking about the best right winger in world football. You just have to hold that. But he didn't really bamboozle him. He stood him up and then cut onto his right. And I think it was made a lot easier by the fact that Zinni was kind of showing him that way. That's how it felt to me anyway. Now, something else I want to show on the tactical pad. If I just bring it up, where's Saliba? So, I've got here the 91st minute of the game. And you all know the minute I'm talking about. This is a long ball down the channel to Salah, who moved up top, which, by the way, I think was something Liverpool got wrong. Bringing on Elliott onto the right and Salah moving up top completely destroyed, the fact that they had a dynamic forward already causing problems to Saliba and Gabriel, but asking questions of them. I thought our centre-backs were brilliant. But what you also had was Elliott come out to the right, and suddenly Zinchenko's job got a lot easier. Now, what you've got here is the ball's come over the top. Saliba's got in front, beat Salah to it. He's taking a touch, and he's down the channel. Look at this. Who are these two in the 91st minute away at Anfield? Your two centre-backs. 91st minute away at Anfield. Just forget what you got to do in terms of defending your penalty area. Be proactive, win it early, because Saliba makes this run here to get in front, win the ball, and then come round, and he's got it. And then what do Arsenal do? And I've not really designed it very well because it was a bit of a last-minute thing I threw together. But Elliott recognises an opportunity to try and press. They want to win the ball back. The Saliba and the defenders are out of place. You've got White, and let me show you here. You've got White and Rice there, but Rice recognises that he's got a cover because the centre-backs are out of position. And what do? Saliba gives it to Gabriel, a little 1-2 into space, and from this moment on, he's pressed again. Saliba happily takes it round them, and at this point, Rice has dropped in. So when the next man comes across to try and press, Rice, actually let's just do this, sorry. When he's pressed, the ball just goes back to Rice, and they play out the back. That is in the 91st minute of the game, people. Arsenal showing immense composure. The centre-backs totally dominated. Rice as a six in front, totally took control. And like I mentioned about that last 30 minutes where Arsenal got on the ball and played, this is where my main praise and where I am quite in awe of this Arsenal team comes through. Anfield, late in the game, a point's a good point. A point keeps you top of the league. And, Liverpool could really be going for it, but we took the sting out of the game. And then when they do hit the channel and they're asking questions and they're moving their centre-backs around, the centre-backs sweet up, play a lovely little 1-2 to go around, total confidence, total assuredness in what they're doing, and take the sting out of the game. Zinchenko does it at the end, ball into the box, not clearing it out for a corner, not heading it into no man's land, just trying to clear it, heads it back to Raya, sting out the game, full-time whistle. Arsenal showed immense composure in this game, and I don't think we can, and that doesn't mean that they weren't rattled at times, that they weren't having to defend deep and dig deep, but they got through it. Like, they kept their heads, they came through it, and they ended the game the better team, especially in that last third. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. While I'm on that, we've got some numbers here for Saliba and Gabriel. Saliba won 100% of his aerial duels, 3 out of 3. Gabriel won 4 aerial duels, 55 touches for Saliba, 6 times he won possession back, 5 duels, 3 clearances, 2 tackles, and a block as well. He was never dribbled past, and he did it at Virgil van Dijk's ground. Fair play to him, man. The debate between those two, listen, take your pick. They're both fantastic. They were fantastic in this game. Saliba won man of the match for Sky. I think it was Gary Neville who gave it, and rightly so. Gabriel there with the clearance and a big goal. Gabriel, not last season, but the season before, maybe last season, but certainly the season before, was our highest goal-scoring defender with 5 goals in the league, I think. He's popped up with a big one here at Anfield. He's a big player who loves big games, as does Saliba. But Gabriel, I just want to give him special credit as well, because he's not always given the same. Like, I do think Saliba's a slight cut above, maybe because of how he moves on the ball and drills into space and whatever, but Gabriel's an absolute effing warrior, man. He just steps up for everything, and I love him, and he's a leader, and he popped up with a big goal when we needed that silence. Well, I wouldn't say silence to Anfield, what do I know, but in that moment, Anfield goes quiet, because Arsenal scored in the 3rd minute, and that is big. And they won their duels, and they set a fantastic tone for Arsenal throughout this game. And when we did have to dig deep, boy did they. I love our centre-backs, so lucky to have them. Okay, let's take some more comments coming through. We'll end the show with the comments. I'm just going to put this down over here. So, was it a penalty? 63% say yes, fair enough. Being honest, I think it probably was as well. 30% say no. The league doesn't end at Christmas, James. No, it doesn't. Well, you don't want me to be happy that I'm top at Christmas, having just drawn at Anfield? Raya was so good today, especially in the non-save cases. I agree, Matic. I thought Raya was really good. Pass, what's the word? Choice of passes was really good. I thought his claiming of crosses was fantastic. And look, not all of it was that difficult, but he was calm, assured, made it look easy. Great for the centre-backs. Now, Ondavoli says our front 3 stink. Very harsh. So, I've kind of gone this whole way without talking about the things we didn't do well. I mean, I've talked about Zinni and his defending on the goal. The front 3, I think, wasted opportunities, but I don't think you can say they were bad. I mean, well, maybe you can. I think they all kind of worked. I thought Saka had a great first half. By the way, any Liverpool fan who thinks that like what Saka did was dirty on Tsimikas, or that I don't even think it was a foul, by the way. I think he just uses his body well. Of course, my best wishes to Tsimikas because it's a bad injury, and fair play to Saka for apologising and saying, look, I'm sorry, he's hurt, he's gone to hospital, because he's a fellow professional and that's the way it should be. But Liverpool fans are like really getting on Saka about that. Some of them are, not all. And like, come on, really? Like, Liverpool have always, over the years, everyone to leave a little bit on because it's just, I don't think Saka left a little bit on. It's just, it's a fiery game and he used his body well. I don't know. Listen, I remember the Mane, anyway. The front three struggled to make the most of the openings, and I felt they had good moments, but not great moments. Like Martinelli had moments where, he was nutmegging Szoboszlai and running into midfield, and Saka got the beating on the fullback. But I said on the watch along, the minute Tsimikas came on and Tsimikas came off and Gomez came on, it became a harder battle for Saka. Gomez, I thought, was brilliant, as was Konate and some of the others. All right, James, don't you think we got away with one there? Erdegaard handballs a pen because he moved his hand towards the ball whilst falling. But that's it, right? Whilst falling. So I think it probably was a pen, but I don't think it's stonewall. Some people are saying it's a terrible decision. I think it's a terrible decision. Saka being tag team while Salah's 1v1 with Zinni. What do you expect as Omer? Yeah. What else have we got? Rice was everywhere today, like everywhere. He was fantastic. I agree. He really was everywhere. Probably got James working overtime tonight. Listen, I fly to Italy tomorrow and we wanted to leave you the tactical insight, so I chose to do it tonight. Hope you're all enjoying the show. Smack the like button if you are enjoying it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You never know what would have happened, James. I can't remember what that was about, that bit. But you're avoiding the question like 3 times now. No credibility. Probably Liverpool or Spurs. Are you telling me I'm avoiding the question? I don't know what question I'm avoiding, but I felt that I feel we're going to win the league, if that's the question I'm avoiding. What else have we got? Well, so our super chat. James, do you think the groundsman overwatering the pitch was a tactic? We're slipping all over. Nearly cost Saka a second yellow. Even that was never a second yellow. I think he actually won the ball. But he did catch him a little bit. It was clearly a slip again. Look, I don't know, but if it was a tactic, Liverpool maybe didn't get certain decisions because our players slipped into them. So, look, if it was a tactic, fine, but did the Liverpool players slip? I'm not sure. So, I don't know. Maybe that was us not putting the right stud on. I don't know. But yeah, maybe it was a tactic. But if it was, clever. Very clever, because Liverpool seem to handle it better than us. Sapphire Block says, James, I think he defends Zinni a bit too much. He is an easily replaceable player. Timber is much better than him, and you know that. I think he's much better than him defensively. I don't know if he's much better than him on the ball. I think he's very good on the ball. Is he much better than him? Passing, picking up the right spots? I don't know. And you've also asked me, do I think Timber gets straight back into the squad instead of Zinni? When he's fit, he probably does, yeah. Certainly for big games like this, Timber and Tomiyasu would have start. Do you think we need a Zinni replacement in January while Timber recovers? No, I don't, because he's still got Kivior to play. Cedric's on the bench, and listen, he is a part of the squad. And Timber and Tomiyasu will be back. So, I think I'd like to add another defender, but I don't think you need necessarily a left-footed Zinchenko replacement, because Timber, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Zinchenko can all play left-back. I think you actually need a right-sided player so that if one of them has to play at left-back, you're fine. So White can cover a centre-back if needed, or you get a right-back. So I'd add another defender, but so we get a little bit more flexibility for all the other more versatile players. I think that's pretty much it. Nothing else to cover. Your comments have come through. 61% of people, it's going back and forth. 61% of people saying it was a penalty, so maybe we got away with it a little bit there. But look, I'm really happy with the performance. Did we have to weather a storm? Yes. But did we show immense maturity? Yes. A lot of City fans that I've seen online are saying, great weekend. And look, results-wise, absolutely. Villa drew, their bitter rivals, Man United lost. You've got everything with, the draw between Liverpool and Arsenal, battling it out for top spot. Good result and weekend City. But I would think that anyone challenging for the title should be looking at Arsenal and how they handled this occasion, coming to Anfield under the lights before Christmas, knowing that if Liverpool win, they go top. So a lot was on the line there. Klopp calling for the crowd. And actually, Arsenal dealt with it well. And I think they dealt with it a lot better than they dealt with Anfield after conceding that goal last season. That first goal where Salah, pulls one back. And I think for that reason alone, anyone challenging for the title should be looking at Arsenal and going, do you know what? They held their own there. And they don't have to go back to Anfield. And that is a big thing. to know for this season. All right, everyone. That's been the Tactical Insight Live. Sorry Graham couldn't be here, but we brought something to you. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Remember that there is 25% off all AFTV merch, as you can see here, from Boxing Day, a Boxing Day sale up until the end of the year. So make sure you go check that out as well. Download AFTV Plus for fans. We'll be running that after the West Ham game on the 28th. I'll be back for that. I'm going to Italy tomorrow to take a little break. I'll be watching the football. Arsenal, you sent me away, top of the league, on a high. A big thank you for that. Could we have won it? We could have. Could we have done better in the final third? Maybe. But come on, look how far we've come. Let's take the positives. The team are doing some great work. Well done to Mikel Arteta, tactically very good today. Well done to the team for their commitment, effort, and keep going. This is our title to win. I really believe it.